Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we will glue everything together, all the implemented features, into the main application. So without further ado, let's go ahead and create in the parent folder, source, create another folder. I'm gonna call it main. So inside the main, I will create first of all the application itself, .vue. We're just gonna add here the template, VF, and router view. We have to define the router. The router is going to hold all the pages and its relative destination. Inside main, I'm going to create a new file. I'm going to call it routes. We're going to export the constant. It's going to be an array. And here we have to define our routes. First route is going to be the home screen. It's going to be defined by this path. And the components that should host this route, in our case, the layout that we will define afterward. And we have to define its children. The children are the nested navigation. So in our case, the first child is going to be the home screen, the path, and we have to provide some metadata, whether this destination is public or not. So I'm going to do here middleware. Create here guest and private. So let's come back to the routes, and here I will do middleware guest. Anyone can see the home screen and the title and app name. Whenever we enter this destination, enter transition from the library of animation that we have imported, and leave transition, animate fade in. It's gonna be fast animation. And here we have to add an array. So the other one, it's gonna be for product detail screen. For the route, we need to do product ID. Of course, we have forgot here to define the component, but we will define afterwards. So here for the component, it's going to be product screen. We're not going to import it because it's going to load this destination lazily as the title product. And for the enter transition, fade in right. And for the leave transition, fade out. I'm going to call it const product detail screen, import product detail screen. So now we are done with second destination. Third one, which is going to be a private route, wishlist manager screen. So for the path wishlist, I'm going to create here wishlist manager screen and the wishlist manager screen. Title is going to be my wishlist. Enter transition. We have bounce. We have bounce in down, bounce in left. So I'm going to do some bounce. So I'm going to do here bounce in right and animate faster, leave transition, animate fade out. Mark this as private middleware. Instead of private, I'm going to do here auth, a method that's going to be called before entering the screen. So before enter, it's going to take in parameter 2. I think it's for the destination. We would like to check. So we need to use the auth store. We will return is authenticated. Every time we navigate to this destination, we're going to check if we have active authenticated user or not. Product search results screen, public route. It doesn't need any authentication. We have to define it here. Oh yeah, you see, we have forgot actually to define on toggle wishlist on the product search result, but we're gonna come back after we will deal with the home screen because it has the same thing. Just speaking of which, I need to see the product detail screen. On the product detail screen, we need to continue this one because we have to add the on toggle wishlist. Now we have the wishlist feature ready to go. Instead of wishlist button as it is, it's going to be computed properly, and we will see if the product is not null. We will return. We have to add here the authentication store auth in wishlist, and we will pass the product if. In wishlist, we're going to do material design icon, heart minus, otherwise heart plus, the default one. With the same manner, we're going to do the label in wishlist, remove from wishlist, and if it's not in wishlist, add to wishlist. Default label is going to be add to wishlist. Let's do the toggle wishlist. So wishlist manager, toggle wishlist, product ID, it's going to be the product ID. On added, just gonna show a snack bar, and on removed, same thing, success. So for the text, we have to add to the cached wishlist this recently inserted item. With the same manner, we're going to do on removed. So we're going to delete from the cached wishlist, And for the snack bar controller, we have to show the message. The product has been removed. I'm gonna copy this. We have on toggle wishlist. I think that's all. Here I'm gonna call it like this. So here, product search. For the path, search. Now let's add the components. Title, search. We need to specify another page. The only private route is this one, wishlist. And perhaps in a real application, you will need other private routes, but this is how you define a private route. I'm gonna add just 2 more routes. We have to define the page if the user is not logged in and the user willing to access some private route. It's going to be 401. I'm going to add 2 keys here and 404. Let's import the 2 components. So for the 401, it's going to be page 401, title unauthorized, and fade out left or fade out with the same manner. I'm going to copy this. In the name of this route, so we need to check, it's like a regular expression. Path should match given routes, any non-existent path. This is what this line means. So any non-existent path, it will redirect to this page. So I will do here in the name, I should have done this here. And for the name of this path is going to be page not found screen. Now we have to implement the layout and home screen. Inside the main, create a new Vue component. It's going to be called layout. And we want our application to support theming. So we have to wrap this with theme. And we have to assign the theme dynamically. And we will do auth theme background, the most easiest one, which is the toolbar. And another template, search input. The state of loading, product store, I guess that we have forgot is searching. Search products. I'm gonna add here read only. I feel like I'm doing this all over again. And we need to add another method. It's gonna be search suggestions. If I didn't do it in the tutorial, I'm sorry for that. So we are doing it here, but it should, we're supposed to do it way before in the product feature. But if I overlooked this one, I'm very sorry. So if it's not empty, it's searching. We do here const suggested products. It's gonna be await get suggested products and patch. I think we have to rename it here to something like suggested products. So product store is loading. It's gonna be is searching. So the search query. So the suggestions, suggested products on search value, which is string, and patch. So the search query, it's gonna be the value. On search button click, we have to perform on search click. Let's gonna call it on search click. We have to define it afterward. And on suggestions click, same thing. So let's define this 2 methods here. So router push search results screen, query, search query, product store, and search query. So let's come back to the search result screen. So we need to load the data. Const search query. We have to get the search query from the query parameter. So it's going to be computed properly, and we can access the query. And if it's null, because perhaps the query does not exist, we're going to do here null. We have to observe the query change in order to launch our method that's going to allow the application to load the results from the database or from the remote database. So we have to do watch, and you have to provide the dependencies. First dependency is going to be the search query, and the other dependency is the current page of the pagination. Get the values, and we can access the previous, I'm going to call it previous query, previous page. We have to specify deep to true, immediate to true. We need to check, first of all, if the search query is not empty. So how to proceed is very simple. We're going to do search products, search query. It's going to be search value on pagination error. So deep equal true tell Vue that we have to watch all the nested properties recursively. And immediate is going to be triggered immediately after the page loading. So let's continue on search button click. And now let's define on search, on suggestions click. Here we have to provide the product ID. It's going to be number and the product title. And instead we have to do, first of all, product store and batch search query equal product title. We will navigate to the product detail ID equal product ID. Now we have to specify the main part that's going to be variable, the main height. I'm going to calculate the viewport, take, or let's say 128 pixels or 130 for the footer. This is the minimum height. I would like to add here the breadcrumbs that we have defined before. And we will do here the router view. This is the variable section of our app. And we will add some animations here. vslot. So we have to do components and route. Use route. For the transition, we'll pick the transitions from the metadata or meta that we have defined in our routes. The name of transition animate, I think it's the class that's going to be appended to the animation. Mode, out in, or interactive class. That's going to be applied whenever we enter the transition. We can access here the meta that we have defined and enter transition. All right, so next we have to do the leave transition. Another space, route, meta, leave transition. Here we have to put the component that you would like to display. In this case, it's going to be the destination. Is component, assign the key of this component, the route and path. After main, we need to add the footer of our application. So I'm going to create a new component. I'm going to call it app footer. So this is the footer. Let's come back to the layout. Then we have to add our snack bar controller or snack bar view and our loader indicator. And this is basically our layout. As we have done here in the search preview, we're going to do something like this, something similar. And instead of Lodash, I'm going to add it from the view core, use debounce, or going to call it here debounce on change, product search and search suggestions. Let's do with a delay 500. So after we have to observe the search query, next what we have to do, so it's going to be a function. Let's give us the old value. If the new value is not null, return and debounce on change. So in the API service, we have to call this function as soon as our application starts. The first component that's going to be loaded, it's the layout. Here we're going to do on mounted, await, API service, init CSRF cookie. Let's go back here to the route and import the layout. And let's import the home screen, which we did not do. So let's go back and implement the home screen. So this is basically the home screen. It's not going to differ too much to the search result. What I've done here is just a section that's going to be for the loading for the animation, and it's going to be the Luti animation. And this is the list of products. It's the same thing that we have done in the search screen result. Now we have just to define, because we did not do this before, get products and set current page. So why I did not do it, because I didn't want to anticipate too much for the store. So let's go ahead and implement this missing function. So it's going to be get products, and I guess that we are going to do the same thing here. So is page loading equal true? The use case, and the use case, it's going to be get products. We don't have the search query, pagination data. And we're going to assign the pagination response, throw an error if there is an error, and to set to false. I guess that's pretty much it. And the other one is going to be set current page for pagination. So it's going to be patch current page. So let's come back to the home screen. So whenever we load the screen, going to launch the first search for the first page. And whenever the page changed, we're going to set the current page to the page that we have clicked, and we will load the product or load the list of products. And whenever we toggle, the user toggles the wish list, we have done the same thing as in the search results screen. And we have defined the function that's going to allow us to navigate to the product detail. We have a section that's going to be the animation. the available products. We're going to provide the products. It's authenticated from the auth store and in wishlets from the auth store as well, and on toggle that we have defined and to navigate. And if there is no products, which is perhaps it's going to happen, we're going to do we could not find what you're looking for. You can add another explicit message here, and this is the pagination. That's pretty much it. I have just set for the section. It's going to be at the center of the screen, and discounts offered. Animation is going to be 200 pixels with the height auto. Import the home screen, and I guess we are done with the router. So now we have to create one more thing. That's going to be the main entry point of our application. So in source, I'm going to create a new file. It's going to be main.typescript. First of all, we're going to load the fonts. Then we're going to create here the instance of our application. And the application is from app.vue. And we're going to do app use. First of all, we need to use the Pinia store, Pinia, and create Pinia. And we're going to use Vuetify. And Vuetify is going to be the theme of our application. The router. So in order to do so, I'm going to come back to the routes. And here I'm going to add another file. It's going to be index. Or you can just do something like folder. It's going to be called router and index. I'm going to put it here. So just to organize a little bit our stuff. Inside the index, we have to define our routes. The routes is going to be used in the application. So I'm going to call it const router. It's going to be create router. And we have to pass the history. And let's define the routes. Already defined them before, so it's going to be routes. And let's customize the scroll behavior. So for us, I'm going to keep it simple. In this case, we will return element to hash, and behavior going to be smooth. If saved position is available, return saved position. In default, we're going to do top 0 and behavior smooth also. In order to protect our private routes, we need to do some check-in before the router is going to handle the navigation. So before each, because we're going to do an async function from our store, we have to mark this function with async. We will create first of all the const auth from use auth store, initialize the loader manager or state manager of the loader. And let's change the document title dynamically. We can obtain the document title from the metadata that we have defined in routes. So f2.name gonna set is loading to true, and we will check if the user is authenticated. We're going to test if auth and is authenticated. In this case, we're gonna do next. Otherwise, auth.clear user data in order to come back to the initial state. As I said, we're going to clear the storage. Going to check if we are in a private route, redirect the user to page 404. The name that we have defined, constant, and the screen and page 404 or 401, I think. And else, we will proceed to do desired page that the user is requesting. Before navigating, we're going to check if the user is authenticated, and we are going to show the loader or loading indicator. So after the navigation is done, so after each, what we will do here, we're going to hide the loading indicator. At the end, we have to export router. So this is our router. We're gonna use it in the main entry points of our application. Use router, and we're going to mount our application. So now what we have to do, just a small adjustment here in the main blade. We should add here the vit, where the main app, the location of main.typescript. I think that's pretty much it for the application. Now we are done building our app. I'm going to check the application if everything is correct. So see you in a bit. I went throughout the entire code of the application. I haven't noticed any missing part or any missing to do. Just small change here in the search suggestion. I have deleted the catch because it's unnecessary, and in the layout, forgot to add here a space. Make sure you have extra space between the animated class and what should be append to to this class. So I think that's pretty much it for today's video, and congratulations, you have completed the app so far. We're not sure if everything is working fine or not. At this particular stage, you can launch the application, but we are not going to do so. We're going to run our end-to-end test. So in the next tutorial, you will learn how to run tests using Cypress. I found Cypress the most great tool to do end-to-end testing. It's very easy, and you can configure Cypress to your liking. I think that's pretty much for today's video. I hope you liked this entire course. I hope you liked it, and see you in the next testing tutorial. Happy coding!